just at the corner cafe, just having a mocha here before I go out and do my Spielberg shit. Welcome back to Natural Gallant Bodybuilding, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about, do you know everything? Have you tried everything when it comes down to training? So some of the comments basically said that you know, they're kind of frustrated, they're not getting results, they're an ectomorph or whatever, they're having all these issues and whatever, and they said they're doing everything right. And as soon as somebody says I'm doing everything right, that sends off warning bells in my head, because although there are some people in the world that have done everything right, I find most of the time when I check on somebody, say I'm in the gym with them, or if I watch them eat, the real story around what is doing things right is totally different than, say, what my vision would be or whatever, right? So, and also the other thing people forget is what is right for you may be different than someone else. Now, some people are afraid of cravings. They're afraid of having an appetite, because if they have an appetite, that means they might end up eating garbage. And I don't even know what they're talking about. I'm not even really interested in eating garbage. I wonder what there's in, and I wonder what's in there. I had a small lunch, all right? I had a small lunch. So that's the whole trick of this whole game, is to basically find out what is the right diet, what's the right training for you, what is it that causes your body to adapt, what is it that sparks that adaptation response in the body, right? And for each person, it's going to be a little bit different, right? You see the comments all the time on YouTube or Instagram. People are like, oh yeah, high frequency doesn't work. You know, I had some idiot just say that. High frequency only works for novices. And I'm like, did you not listen to my effing video? I just said this is what I did in order to win the Canadians, in order to win at the highest national level in natural bodybuilding, and you're saying that it doesn't work for advanced people, right? So, right, you just get people just debating all the time. So the problem is that everything works for everybody to a point, and then you have to constantly hone in what is perfect for you and your specific constitution. And like I said, that's the curse of the social media age. We've got mass education, but we've also got mass miseducation. People are doing things because that's what worked for somebody else, but they're not necessarily experimenting also with themselves and saying, hey, you know what, this is the way this movement feels right. Like, for instance, I was squatting wrong according to social media my whole life, but that's where I was getting the most results. So maybe I was the only one doing it right, you know, at least for my body type. So this is something you have to take into account. So don't fall for the trap, or your own ego basically saying I'm doing everything right because I'm following what other people are doing, and I've done that. That means you need to experiment a little bit more. And yeah, you are going to have your own limitations, your own genetic limitations. You're going to have your own specific body type and shape of the muscle and all that. Yeah, you're not going to look like exactly like Bob Smith or whatever, like whoever it is that you're listening to, but you are going to be able to improve. And this takes me to the next thing, which is extremely important, and that's to micro measure your progress. Don't measure progress on big holistic things like I'm either Mr. Olympia or I'm I'm a piece of trash. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to basically measure small improvements. Like, any small improvement is a blessing and is a movement in the right direction. It's just like when I teach people success stuff. Like, some people I talk to about like how to get their money situation together, or how to get themselves better at whatever goal they want to accomplish when it comes down to their income, or maybe they want to establish a social media audience, or maybe they want to sell this book or whatever. It's like, you can't concentrate on the first $1 million you sell. You have to concentrate on, how do I get $1? You know, how do I get $1 and build upon that? And it's the same thing with results. Most guys are looking for, or girls or whatever, they're looking for instantaneous, absolute extreme results, but they're not saying, oh, how do I just make minute changes over time and trust that if I keep on doing that and following that little breadcrumb path, you know, like the birds, they eat the breadcrumbs, you know? Never heard the story of Hansel and Gretel? You know, that's why they couldn't get back home, because the birds ate the crumbs. It was a horror story, honestly. It was a horror story. But anyway, if you concentrate on those little pieces of gains, little pieces of results, and build upon them, over the long run, you'll get more. And that was the blessing back in the day, where when I was training at home, I wasn't concentrating on anybody else. It was just me, and I would look in the mirror and I would see small results, small changes in the physique. And then over time, people start to notice, hey, something's going on with your body, right? What are you doing? And I'm like, yeah, I'm just training all the time. I'm training, at least 3 days a week, 4 days a week, and things started to happen. But if I would have put unrealistic expectations on myself right away to be Mr. Olympia or something like that, I just would have been perpetually frustrated. And that's the thing people have to understand, is that you have to master your mind, especially when you want to master your body. Because if you don't master your mind, you are going to drive your body into oblivion, because you're never going to be paying attention. You're constantly going to be slave driving it with your idea, right? Look at the Ronnie Colemans of the world. Look at the people who really pushed their body to the extreme and ignored what the body was saying. So I'm not saying there isn't massive respect for anybody that accomplishes big things. And sometimes, yeah, to accomplish something, you need to almost blow up into pieces. And then you have to assess whether it's worth it or not. But the bottom line is that paying attention to the body and working with what's working is more important. So yeah, are you doing everything right? Maybe you're doing everything right for someone else, but maybe it's not right for you. Maybe you need to adjust something. Maybe you need to be doing a different type of split program. Maybe you need to be eating massive amounts of food compared to the other person. This is something that has to be addressed. And maybe also health conditions. Maybe you need to basically look at your digestive system and say, is my food actually digesting? Maybe you need to look at your sleep. Like maybe it's stuff that's going on outside the gym that's influencing your lack of results. You see, there's a lot of different levels to this. So it's not just about, oh, I did the arm curls right, so I should have big arms. There are other factors. So yeah, so anyway, this is some stuff for you to think about, so hopefully you don't get frustrated, because it's really common to get frustrated when you compare yourself to other things, and then you sometimes miss the thing that's right in front of your face that's really making the hugest influence on your lack of results from training. Like stress is a huge one, right? So anyway, I hope this helps you out in your training. Thanks a lot for watching. And if you need to get hold of me, just go to naturalgallantbodybuilding.com, and thanks to the Patreon supporters, and take care for now. This has been another broadcast of Natural Gallant Bodybuilding News. Mountain.